Well, what we've got is a bird that's busy flying around. So it's a lesser spotted eagle that is busy drifting through. M's doing a wonderful job keeping it in frame. So what it's doing is it's using the wind. There's a bit of a wind that's blowing, and so it turns on the wind, and that's when it goes fast, and then it just turns into it a little bit, and then it hovers in the wind, and there it can look and see what's going on before it then kind of dives down and grabs whatever it wants. Now, those types of eagles, they like to hunt all kinds of things, but mostly insects. So they go after a thing called a winged owlet. Now, winged owlets are a type of termite, and so that's what they try and go after, the reproductive termites, and try and grab onto them. So they'll be happy if it rains. In those clouds that you saw them flying through, those look like clouds that might bring a bit of rain, and that will definitely make our lesser spotted eagles very, very happy indeed. Now, let's carry on and see what else we can find. So, Caden and Mrs. Sabina, you want to know what the temperature is right now in South Africa. Sure, maybe our directors in final control can just let me know exactly what the temperature is, but I'm going to guess that it is about, I would say about 30 degrees maybe Celsius in the sun, that is. Oh, look. I think it's about 90 Fahrenheit, somewhere around there. So that's about the temperature. 86, so I wasn't far off. 30 Celsius, 86, which is a normal temperature. In fact, it's actually a coolish day for this time of the year. We normally get temperatures that can go almost 120 degrees Fahrenheit in this sort of section in the summer months. So it's a fairly pleasant day today, not too hot at all, and it's not too humid today, which means it's quite nice. Right, well, we're going to carry on. We're going to try and see if we can find you guys a leopard, and so while I do that, let's send you back to Jamie, who's got something that a leopard would like to eat.
I've got lots of things that a leopard would like to eat and some things that a leopard would not like to eat. So we really enjoy visiting these swampy areas because there's just so many types of animals that you can find out here, and we've got so many different species right in front of us. First off, a herd of impala. Now, impala, I think, are probably one of the most unappreciated antelope that we get out here. They're certainly the most common, but they're also really beautiful, very elegant, and very athletic as well. Now, this is a herd of impala. The females are the ones without horns. The male is there. You could see him at the back. He's got a really serious set of horns. And here's something interesting. The animals, well, the impala in the Masai Mara, where we are much, much bigger than the same impala, same species, that is a warthog running through. Trot, 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 trot. See, I told you there were lots of animals to see here. The impala here are much larger than the ones in South Africa, and there's a reason for that. There's a connection to that, and that is because out here there is a lot more rain and the soils are better for really good quality grass, and as a result there's lots more resources, which means that impala breed all year round here, where they only have one limited mating season in South Africa. So the animals, the impala here, have lots of resources, but therefore the competition greater, and therefore the larger individuals are favored, whereas in South Africa, with one very strict rainy season, there's only really one good time for the females to give birth, and as a result there's only really one good time for the males to be able to mate with them. How interesting is that? Oh, Adriana, hands down, an antelope has more endurance than a cheetah. So cheetah are faster over shorter distances, but not by much, actually. Not by all that much. They have to reach their top speeds, but they cannot maintain those top speeds for very long. It's a very energy-intensive process to sprint like cheetahs do. So that's why they have to stalk and try and get closer to the antelope. They have to sneak up on the antelope before they start chasing them. Otherwise, they'll run out of energy before they catch them and the antelope will get away. And remember, for all predators out here, most of the hunts that they initiate will be unsuccessful. So more times than they succeed, they fail. Whether it's a lion or a cheetah or a leopard. So I've told you a little bit about the differences between the antelope that you get here in the Mara, as well as look at these Tommies chasing each other around. How cool is that? Okay, quickly, off you go back across to South Africa, where you can join Noelle and see what other antelope she's found.
All right, everyone, in our search for buffalo, leopard, and elephant, we've come across some zebra, impala, waterbuck, and nyala. On screen, we have an impala and several impala and a beautiful male zebra. Now, most of the time, you'll see zebra in a herd, but every now and then, males will be kicked out of either where their females are or with the bachelor herds of males and are on their own. And we've also got the drone and running. Is he over here on the southern end of Chitwa? Riley, super good question. You would like to know what type of food do impala eat? Riley, impalas are mixed feeders. They eat leaves and grass. And I've even seen them eating the flowers, the sausage tree. And every now and then they'll eat fruits. Those are male impalas that you can see with the horns. Female impalas have no horns. There's a couple of females on the left there. We call that sexual dimorphism, when there's a difference between male and female. And then that zebra is a grazer. That zebra eats grass, similar to a horse. Now, every coat pattern on a zebra is unique, like a fingerprint. And if you were to shave a zebra, he would be black. The white stripes developed over time to help keep it cool and hot. Jaden, good question. You want to know how many impalas travel in a group together? Jaden, it depends. It can be 2 impala, it can be 20 impala, it could be 100 impala. Every group size is different. And it all depends on the resources that are available. So the type of food, water, that make up the size of the impala herd. Now, Ferg, my cameraman, who is not just a good cameraman, he's also a good drone pilot. We now have the drone up and running, so you get a bird's eye view of what we are looking at. You can see Chitwa Lodge and Dam in the background there. And you can see it's looking not as green as we would like, but pretty good. All right, now you're back with me on the other camera with a couple of bums and the zebra. And then just to the right of where that impala and zebra are the waterbuck. Isaac, good question. You want to know if there's been attacks on humans on any of these safaris. So Isaac, in the decade that I have been a guide, so in just over 10 years I've been guiding, I have never had that. I have heard some stories from other parts of Africa with issues surrounding animal attacks on a vehicle, but it's not something that happens often. First off, for something like a lion, they don't really see us as food. A lion see these waterbuck, and look at the waterbucks looking at the drone. They see these waterbuck and impala and zebra as food, and they are all on 4 legs. Humans are on. We as guides try very hard to make sure that when we're viewing our animals, that we respect their space. All right, now Jamie is still up in Kenya, up to the north and east of us in a completely different ecosystem. So I think let's head on up to her with her very large African Cape buffalo.
So, I asked you a question about the very large Cape buffalo a little bit earlier, and I asked you why it might be that they enjoy lying in mud. Riley, you are spot on. Well done, Riley. Riley says that they think that the buffalo roll in mud because it is hot out here. And you are absolutely right. That is one of the main reasons, one of the two main reasons why buffalo enjoy wallowing in mud. There we go. Bella has answered something very similar. Well done. You are right to keep them cool, and yes, it does protect their skin a little bit from the harshness of the sun out here, and it is very harsh. I get sunburnt all the time, even though I use lots and lots of sunblock to protect my skin. So yes, that is a very good answer. So keeping cool is one very, very good reason. But now I've got a curveball to throw at you because it's cold at the moment. It's actually quite chilly this afternoon. Probably not for you guys. Maybe not by your standards, but certainly by the standards out here. It's probably only around about 70 odd degrees Fahrenheit. Maybe even a little bit lower than that. So definitely the temperatures sometimes go well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and then buffalo and rhino and elephants all wallow in the mud. There's one other reason, and I'm going to tell you what it is, because otherwise we might run out of time and then I haven't had a chance to. So there is one other reason, and that is because it helps to trap insects. Now, buffalo often have ticks and other types of parasite that live on their skin. So parasites that bite and feed off the blood of the buffalo. Now, our ticks don't carry Lyme disease, but it's very uncomfortable for the buffalo and very, very itchy. So what they do is they climb into mud and they lie in the mud until the tick actually drowns and drops off, or if they come out of the mud, then the mud dries and the tick gets stuck in the mud, and then they go and they rub themselves on a tree. So on some really nice rough bark or possibly a rock somewhere, they'll go and they'll rub that dried mud, and the ticks and the other parasites get pulled off their skin. So it's basically their way of getting rid of parasites. So well done to keep cool and to get rid of parasites. Those are the two reasons, the two big reasons why buffalo wallow in mud. I'm going to add a third, and I'm going to say I think they just like the feeling of it, to be honest. They always look so happy when they lie in mud. I think they just like it. So remember I said that we've got loads of animals around here. Owen, there we go. Unfortunately, I don't have an ostrich here to show you, but yes, this environment is suitable for ostriches. We do get ostriches, both here where we are in the Mara, as well as where you've been with Tristan and Noel in South Africa. Get ostriches around here. They are very, very fast. Obviously, we know that they can't fly, but they can run very quickly. So yes, we do get ostriches. Tatum, now you've seen monkeys with Brent. You want to know if they are dangerous. They can be. Baboons especially can be dangerous, particularly to children. And here's something interesting. Primates recognize none of the other animals respond differently to men and women out here, but primates do. So when I try and chase monkeys, a lot of the time they challenge me and they try and chase me back. Even though they're not looking at my size, they're just recognizing the fact that I'm female. Whereas when Brent chases them, they run away. It's very, but it is absolutely true. So it's got nothing to do with size and everything to do with the fact that primates actually are more likely to challenge a girl who's trying to chase them rather than a boy. That doesn't mean that we can't chase them if we need to when they're around camp. It just means that I'm more likely to get a challenge from them. They might bare their teeth at me and they might try and chase me back. And that's when it's very important to stand your ground. Right, so it's been wonderful having the students that have joined us today. Apparently you guys have got to get on with your school day, so we will have to say farewell to But I really hope that we will be hearing from you again on safari. I hope you join us once again in the future, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your school day. For the rest of you, off you pop back to Brent and his wallows.
Well, as you can see, there is almost absolutely nothing left of the poor piggy. And they are still trying to get every tiny little morsel out. And so it's quite tough for the pride at the moment, especially with so many cubs and so many of them being young males. These poor girls work overtime to keep them fed. And there's still a scuffle going on for the head. And we got lucky. The storm blew past us. We're very lucky it did not hit us today. Small mercies. I love how the other one is lying on as much as possible while the other is trying to sort of eat under its armpit. It's always funny when lions try to lie on carcasses to make sure no one else can get any. Oh, the little one calling right next to us. Oh, let's go to these ones next to us, Arch. There might be a bit of a scuffle there, and it's trying to sneak in on what's left of the rib cage. I might even have a little tug of war. Now, as I said, I still think that the girls haven't got enough food, so they might get up and go off on the hunt again. So we're going to play patience here for a little longer to see what happens next with the Olololo Pride. In the meantime, let's go see if the non-dancing leopard whisperer has learned how to dance.
Well, Brenty sounds like he's having a nice afternoon, which is very good. I'm glad for him, and hopefully our afternoon will also be a successful one, because we are slowly but surely just meandering up Vuyatela access, and I'm going very slowly because I'm looking for any signs of either hukamuri or smell, or potentially maybe even shadow. Scott said to me he had tracks coming all the way from Weaver's Nest of a female coming up into this area now, and has walked that route. And just trying to see if there's maybe something that can give away what has gone on with all of the leopards that were around over the last couple of days. So that's why we're just driving slowly. I want to check these mud wallows that are just to my left here. It's been a fairly warm afternoon, and so it's a good place just to go and have a little look around in case there's a leopard that's having a bit of a drink there. You never know, it might be just taking. No tracks though. I haven't found any tracks that are fresh. I found tracks for hukamuri from yesterday, but they are obviously from yesterday morning. At him as though they went in a sort of northwesterly direction. So I'm just checking around to see if maybe he came up this way. He likes to walk this kind of route as well, and with Shadulu being around, you never know, maybe he decided he needed to come and just see what she's been up to. So I just want to quickly have a little look here. This is where those mud wallows are, and I honestly have no idea how much water is actually left in these. So I want to just double check exactly what's going on with these mud wallows and see how much water has been sort of drunk by the ellies and what's actually going on. And so while I check around here, let's send you back across to Jamie and see how she's doing in the Mara.
I'm doing great, thank you. I'm doing absolutely fine. Having a good chuckle. We do apologize for the problem with Djuma feed. We are trying to sort it out as quickly as possible. So I need to start moving. I need to start moving pretty quickly. I've got to get all the way back up to the top of that mountain in the next 40 minutes. And I got to do so by navigating the swamp. Can't even really see the lions anymore. Oh dear. No, don't stop. Oh dear, I can't go past him. Oh dear. Let's go back and look at. You can just see the top of a lion's head. Not the best view I've ever had of a lion. But as there appears to be a traffic, oh sorry, I'm not allowed to say that, as there appear to be vehicles in front of us. There is no lion there, is there, Adrian? No, it's a little bit further to the right. Jumbo. Where's the lion, Adrian? I guess. There we go. Well done. I'm not laughing at Adrian, I'm laughing at myself because I couldn't remember where I'd seen it. So that was in no way Adrian's fault, and that was entirely my fault. I was looking in the wrong place. So there we go. There's one of our lionesses. I have no idea who she is. I really don't. I'm a little bit confused about the territory in this particular area. I think she's one of the Mara... I don't know. Somebody told me they were called the Mara River Pride. But I've really been quite confused. In fact, I should have asked that gentleman. He would have been able to answer me. Although, mind you, I've had so many different names from different guides. It gets very confusing. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We actually can't stop here for too long. We have a new viewer called Atomic Orange. Now, Atomic Orange, sorry, I have to keep going. I just have to. Atomic Orange is wondering, why don't we have any doors or any other kind of protection on our vehicle? Well, I got a door. Sometimes it even shuts and stays shut, not always. So it's lovely to hear from you. Essentially, all of the animals out here are not threatened by us, nor do they see us as a food source. So there is no reason for us to have any kind of closed. They do not really, they pick out individuals, I think, in a vehicle. I think that they can, but they do not really see us as either a human being properly or as something that their natural instinct tells them they should hunt. We don't look like an antelope. We are a big, slightly noisy, moving termite mound. Maybe not quite that specific, but we're not a threat to them in any way. Now, in South Africa, you'll notice that the vehicles don't have doors at all, nor do they have roofs, unless they need to. The reason we have roofs here is because it rains all the time. It's also the rules. And the reason we have a door, we wouldn't want a door. We prefer not to have doors. But the reason that we have a door is so that it's part of the park rules. We are not allowed to take the door off, whereas we are in South Africa. Unfortunately for some of us, Tristan, sometimes the lack of the door means that people have gone for a little ride out of the car, which I have to say I have never known of anyone doing ever until Tristan did it. I didn't even know it was possible. It's the first and the last time I think I will ever hear of that happening. I'm sorry, Tristan, it just had to come up. We got asked about doors. I didn't have a choice. So we can move the vehicle. So if there's any kind of a situation like what happened with our buffalo earlier there, the trick is to just move away. Why push it? Why risk a potential interaction between us and the animal? Better for us to just move away. We can. We've got working vehicles. So we just move away. And that's all that we need to do in a scenario where the animal's a little bit upset with us. And if you don't push things, and if you don't make that animal feel frightened in any way, then there's absolutely no reason for them to attack us. Oh, that was a large hole. You know that since I mocked Tristan, there is a very good chance I'm going to do something silly. I'm just so aware of the potential karma of that situation. Oh, it's beautiful here today. Okay. Hi guys. So while we carry on with our very secure door across on our right, let us go and head across to Tristan and find out if he's been tempted since to put the doors back on the vehicle.
Well, Jamie Patterson, I learnt my lesson when making fun of one's co-workers, then come back to bite you, and that's exactly what happened to me. Is I was talking about Taylor taking a tumble and I went flying out the door, so be very careful now on your way through the Mara. But what you can see is a very cool little lizard that is on the road. This is called a Bushveld lizard. Very seldom do you see, so it's really cool to see them, and you can see they've got these beautiful sort of side area. And interestingly enough with these guys is that they are actually mimicked by a type of beetle, and I'm going to try and find the actual beetle for you so that you can all see it. It's very cool. So there's a beetle that mimics these guys so that things don't eat them, because the lizard is a little bit kind of more sort of quicker and is a carnivore. But here we go. I think this is it. No, that's not the right one I'm looking for. I'm looking for the right beetle, and it's meant to mimic these lizards. Where is it? So I suppose that's probably the best one. It's not quite right, but the black and then the little white dots on it. I suppose it could be said that maybe either one quite similar to each other, but very cool to see, and I'm surprised our little lizard is sitting for as long as it is. I would have thought it would have scampered, because there are many things out here that eat these little lizards. You can see it's in our shade there. Maybe that's why it's sitting, is because it's still in the shade, but very cool. Maybe almost 3 or 2.5 times its body length, which is very cool to see. Little pretty fella. Right. I'm going to leave our little Bushveld lizard to itself, let it kind of find some safety. While I do that, let's send you back across to Brent with something that little lizard would be absolutely petrified of.
Well, most of the lines have now moved behind us. There's still one warthog head, and we could hear the monkeys again. They're blue monkeys in the trees around, but can't see them just at this very moment. Well, let's move on and see what the rest of the lines are doing. Quite a lovely spot here amongst the trees. Very, very different from other parts of the Mara. Looked like a lot of them moved up into these lipias. Oh, they're on the move. Tide went behind us. Let's go catch up with them. Oh, look at that tawny eagle just sitting there. Hello, Tawny. Oh yeah, tawny eagle waiting. As soon as that last lion is moved away, it will descend and grab any little scrap it can. With that very sharp hooked beak, it will be able to get pieces of meat that the lions will have missed. Beautiful. Okay, let's try and keep up with the lions. They're on the move. Wow, actually this tawny is so relaxed. Let's don't fly. Have a quick look. Look at that. We're right next to that eagle. Very relaxed tawny eagle. Isn't that spectacular? I'm gonna scare the eagle, so oh, he's off to where the lions are. So he's flying directly to where the lions are. The lions have just disappeared underneath that tree there. I'm just going to go around. I think the cubs might be quite playful now. I'm just trying to keep up with the cubs. There was an adult lioness sleeping over there. They're on the move. I'm hoping we are going to be able to follow them through here. Now, Melody's wondering, are any of the cubs in danger from that eagle? No, that eagle is far too small to actually threaten the cubs. The only eagle that will eat cubs, and all of these cubs are far too big for an eagle to get to, would be a martial eagle, but only with much younger cubs. Okay, hold on there, Arch. Whoops, it. Oh, it looks like we're in luck here. This is a lovely, I didn't even realize we could get this far up here. Normally it's near impossible when these little rivers are full of water. Here you can see them heading up. Just see if we can do the same. Now it looks like there might actually be a puddle of water for them to have a drink from around here. But if they keep going in that direction, I think that's it for us. I don't know if we're going to be able to cross that little stream. There are still some lions coming behind us. Just go around. They might be just going for a drink. So I said, quite often these little streams in these areas are really wet, so it's very difficult to get into these areas. I think there should be a puddle of water below this gardenia in front of us. But they're going that way. Can't really see. It looks like they are coming up towards the gardenia. Yes, there is water there. There we go. So I said I thought they might be coming to get a little drink. Oh dear, it looks like they want... I don't know if there's going to be enough for all of them to drink. They might go around to the other side. So this is just the cubs. None of the females are coming through to have a drink. They're still lying back behind. I can actually hear them drinking. James is wondering, are there any hyenas around, or do they just come out at night? James, I'm sure there are hyenas around. At the moment, they're probably just having a snooze, though. They do sometimes become active during the day, but like the lions, they are normally more active at night. Okay, I'm just going to try see if we can get a slightly better visual. And here come the big girls. There we go. One of the 4 adult lionesses now coming in. There we go. Thirsty kitties after their bacon afternoon snack. Look at that, isn't that special? It's amazing, you can just hear that lapping. Another big girl coming in. Trying to find a spot to have a drink. It's quite crowded there. She might come to the side, or she's trying to worm her way in. Trying to find a spot. Almost booting a cub up. Sounds like you guys are getting some awesome screenshots of the Olololo Pride. Look at that lovely dappled light coming through the gardenia on that line. Let's go back to the left a little bit. There we go. That's the one. That's the shot. Oh, we can hear a very noisy, sooty chat as well. But isn't that gorgeous? Now with that storm moving off, I'm pretty sure these kitties are going to go flat now for a little bit. The girls, I think, will get moving when it's a bit later. A bit darker. There you go, you can see there's an adult lioness walking off now, and she is by no means well fed. And she might go top of that. This is not a termite mound, just a mound. Okay, let's let her climb up to the top. And there we go, flop down. She's now got a nice spot where she can keep a view if any potential prey comes along. But as I said, I don't think they're going to move too much now. And we're going to start, well, we're going to leave them now and start heading back towards the hill home, because going through the forest in the dark I don't think will be a very good idea. Okay, so while we do that, let's go see what Jamie's up to.
Heading back as well, but I have to tell you that that was really a lovely afternoon. I'm so glad that we had all of those elephants there in that swampy part. It was just It's just so pretty. And I actually wanted to stay longer because I'd only just noticed there was a flock of yellow-billed storks and scarlet ibises. Scarlet ibises? That's not what I mean at all. What are the other ibises? Sacred ibises. Goodness gracious. Scarlet, sacred, there's an S in it, and a C. I got them mixed up. Those two species of birds in this massive flock, surrounded by about 50 elephants. And I wanted to stay with the setting sun, but unfortunately we couldn't. We had to start heading back. But hopefully they'll stick around that swampy area, the Samaki swamp. Samaki means fish, right?
Yeah.
Samaki swamp, the fish swamp. Hopefully they decide to stick around there, and then they'll be there tomorrow for the sunrise and the sunset safari, because I could definitely do another drive that's pretty much elephant based. I think that would be very, very pleasant. And there was so much else. We never even got to the river. We're going to go and drive along the forest line along the river, and we just never got around to it. Too many other things to see, and the storm didn't come over. So we didn't have to go running from the storm. It didn't pour with rain, although it looks like it might eventually, sometime tonight. All in all, it's worked out to be a really nice day. Wendy, more animals are... Wait, let me try and phrase this properly. There's not more animals out and about at night, but there are different species that are out at night. And that is why the best time to be out here in the bush is at that changing point. So first thing in the morning, when the diurnal animals are waking up, they're starting to get active. And in fact, to be honest, the animals that we think of as traditionally nocturnal, things like lions and leopards, the predators, they were actually more active, that sort of pre-dawn to dawn moment. And then this time of day, going into the evening when the diurnal animals are not necessarily going to sleep, but certainly gathering and huddling together and becoming a lot less active. Things like primates will disappear at night. They'll go and hide themselves in the trees, but then you'll get the exclusively nocturnal animals coming out. Things like genets or aardvark, I say with great expectation. I've never seen one. Aardvark, wolf, bat-eared foxes, all of the really strictly nocturnal little creatures. And yes, the lions and leopards will be slightly more active as well. So I don't know if I would say that there's more animals. I guess you could say more animals, but the diurnal ones aren't nearly as visible. The birds all go to bed, or most birds go to bed. So it is very much, the best time is first thing in the morning and in the evening. Especially in winter, because the nocturnal animals are more likely to come out early on a winter's afternoon. That's why we see far more pangolin when it's winter and it's cold. It doesn't really apply here, but certainly in Africa, when it's winter and it's chilly, the nocturnal animals are more visible, and there's less grass, so you can see them better. Sorry, Faith, I didn't catch. I got that it was Sally, but I didn't quite catch what Sally was asking. Sally says, what do I most look forward to when coming back from drive? Are we talking about in the evening or the morning? I would say, what do I look Okay, I would say probably I look forward to my cup of tea and my breakfast. I'm one of those people who is perpetually hungry at all times. I constantly need feeding. This game drive period is about as long as I can go without becoming hangry. So my breakfast, my cup of tea, in the evenings, it's getting into out of uniform and into comfortable clothes and washing the sunblock off me, to be honest. That's quite high up the list. And washing the dust out of my ears, which seems to be where it gathers. And I most look forward, you know what I actually. I have my proper answer. The part that I most look forward to is the gathering of Wild Earth staff members at the end of drive. Everybody always seems to sort of collect outside the final control in the evenings or around final control. And then we all, in theory, go up to dinner together, although we've been very bad at socially eating recently. That's what I look forward to the most. And we do a little dissection of the drive, and we talk about what we saw or what happened and those peaceful moments. That's what I look forward to after drive. I don't know what Brent's... Maybe I do know what Brent's answer would be. I think I could guess, but I'm not going to tell you. I think I could guess, though. When I worked in South Africa, when I worked doing game drives, the thing that I looked forward to the most was taking in my socks. But I haven't worn closed shoes since I got to the Mara. I don't even know if my feet still know what it's like wearing closed shoes. But that's one thing I used to look forward to. And then scratching my tick bites on the lining of my sock. I mean, wow, isn't that glamorous? What do you look forward to the most? I look forward to taking my sweaty boots off and scratching my tick bites. Charming. It's a glamorous, glamorous life we lead. I look forward to taking my sweaty boots off and cleaning the dirt out of my ears. Beautiful. Alright, I've guessed Brent's answer. I'm going to send you across to Brent so that he can tell you what it is that he most looks forward to after drive.
Well, hello. Well, what we look forward to, I look forward to after drive. Well, in the morning, it's definitely breakfast. Definitely breakfast. And a bit of reading. Always reading. In the evenings, oh, look at that. What are you doing, cheeky? That is a cheeky looking little face. Oh, you're going to charge me now? Oh, yes, you are. Oh, we're being charged by an even smaller one. We've got two cheekies. Are you charging me? You are very scary. Oh, I do love elephants. Hey, little ones, where have you guys wandered out of? No, they're going to charge each other instead. I think we interrupted them during a big game of chase each other around and be big elephants. Oh, here we go. Fearsome charge. Little trumpet now. Come on. Oh, they are cute. Oh, we're supposed to run away. We haven't run away yet. There's some bit of confusion. Yes. Why aren't they running away from me? When I charge Impala, they run. There's a little trumpet. Sweetness. Oh, are we going to get one last big charge? One more. Come on, give us a little trumpet at the end. Isn't that sweet? Okay, off it goes. Okay. Oh, wait for it. Are we going to get one more? Nah. Okay, we're going to keep moving back up towards the top of the hill and leave these gorgeous little elephants. While we do that, let's go back to Jamie.
I was hoping we might find some of the hippo that live in one of the water holes down here, but unfortunately they're not in residence. So then I thought maybe the banded mongoose would be in their standard den site, which is one of the bigger termite mounds out here. That's one of the much frequented banded mongoose den sites or hidey holes. But unfortunately they're not here this year. It might actually be a bit too late. Usually at around about sunset they gather to bask in the sun and groom each other, and then by the time the sun is gone, which it is already, then they disappear. So we go to see what we can see. Maybe we'll get some blue monkeys on our way up. I'm glad Brent managed to get those on camera today. Oh, can we do it in second? Not really. We're not really managing it. There we go. Now we are. Okay. What I'm going to do, I think, because I think everything will look very pretty this evening. Oh, the sun's actually gone. But I'm going to stop at the view tree, the viewpoint. It's not actually called the view tree. And we'll stop and we'll have a look, and we'll look right down across the Mara Plains before I have to race up the hill, before I get shouted at for being late. Sorry about that. Apparently we disappeared off your screen. Shouldn't have yet. Should still be okay. Might get a little dodgy around this corner. Maybe we'll get a surprise last minute leopard. This is where we saw that male disappear into that one morning where he took us completely by surprise. Now you say since some mongoose are nocturnal, are they seldom seen? We see white-tailed mongoose almost every night. If we're out after dark, then we will see white-tailed mongoose, and I've seen water mongoose once on this hill on my way up after a long evening out. So those are the main nocturnal species of mongoose. Diurnal species, slender, banded, and dwarf mongoose, they will all be in bed by the time the sun sets. Look at that, that's actually really cool. Are you guys coming to visit our camp tonight? They've also got to the gate closes, Adrian. Quick. No, I think they're going to come and end up near our camp. They like it around there. Okay, well, our elephants are beating us up the hill. We better try and catch up with them. Let's go across to Brent for one final view of his olololos.
There we go, a nice long distance view of the olololos sitting on top of that there above that little river system. As I said, I think they'll get moving again when it's a bit later. But for now, I think they're going to rest up there. Okay, well, we can't be beaten to the gate by elephants. So we do need to keep moving up the hill slowly but surely. Now I wonder what the lions' plans are. They shouldn't head up the hill. That's naughty. They must stay down here. Not a lot of game around there at the moment, so they're down, I think. And hopefully Djuma will be with you shortly. They're still trying to sort out their gremlins, unfortunately. Now this time of the day, it's always good for raptors as you come up the hill. crowned eagles, auger buzzards, all sorts. Now Mary would like to know what happens if we get to the gates on time. Well, generally the guys at the gates are quite good, but we never push our luck. We always make sure we're there on time. I think if we're 2 minutes late or whatnot, it's not such a big deal. But we don't push our luck with that. If we stay out beyond the gate closing times, we always have a ranger with us. So that's how we deal with that. If we want to stay out later or all night, we always take a ranger with us. Okay, well, I'm gonna zoot up the gate, up towards the gate, and it sounds like Jamie is going to send you a final farewell from the Mara.
Brent is not wasting any time. Wait. Here's our opportunity, Adrian. Okay, we're going to show you a very rare sighting in the wild. Now, that over there, believe it or not, is the best driver ever. Now, just look at the way he hugs the curves as he curls around the road. There are Rolls-Royce engineers that are weeping and have thrown away their overalls to become Land Rover mechanics. The Stig is taken off his helmet somewhere and has retired for the final time, taken off his driving gloves, because none could ever match the sheer driving skill of Mr. Leo Smith. Just look at it. It's perfection. There's tears rolling down Adrian's cheeks. He's weeping silently. His shoulders are shaking. There are very few drivers in the world, folks, that could inspire a cloud of dust just like that. It's incredible. Faith, does he know we're looking at him? Yes, he does. One-handed! Can you believe the skill of that? Would you look at that? One hand steering wheel, no hands on the gear stick. My goodness. We are so privileged, folks, that this is the final sighting that we enjoy on our sunset safari. I couldn't have thought of anything better. I thought the elephants were wonderful. I was mistaken. Oh, I feel enriched by this experience. It'll make absolutely no sense to new viewers who've missed the context behind this, but I don't care. It's beautiful. What a way to finish. Okay, shall we go back to an actual animal for the end of our safari, since he's nearly near the elephants? There they are, in that curve there. Oh, I just had to show that to you, everyone. It was so special. It's okay, Adrian, you can wipe your eyes now. Yes, it's okay. I know you'll never film anything like that ever again. It was amazing. I'm going to be in so much trouble when I get home. Totally worth it though. Unfortunately, folks, it doesn't seem that Djuma's up and running. Faith, I don't know if that's absolutely confirmed as to whether or not that is the case. Absolutely, okay. Okay, so we are going to be saying to those of you joining us on certain social media platforms, if you want to continue with your safari, then you can head across on Google Safari Live. We have to head home, we really do. We're going to be taking a very short break. You'll see our Safari Live logo, but don't go anywhere. The Djuma team will be back.
everyone. I'm Noelle, and on camera and on the drone, I have Ferg, and Ferg is saying hello. He's just busy doing various different things at the back. He has to do our regular camera as well as the camera. We have a young male elephant who's coming over to say hello. He's been chasing buffalo around and away from the dam and eating some marula fruits. And just basically doing what young male elephants do. And then we've got our drone guy, which is amazing, and hopefully we'll be able to get a good view of that. That elephant's just moving to our right. Now, don't forget, we are live and interactive. You can hashtag Safari Live on Twitter or on the in the top left-hand screen. And that elephant should be, there he is. He's just in the mid left-hand side of the screen, moving slightly out of frame. Oh, sorry, everybody. We had a little bit of a gremlin there. Drone feed, that's okay. What we're going to do is we'll go down as that elephant's moved off. We're going to go down closer to the dam and see what we can do about some hippos and maybe some birds. And then hopefully a little bit later we might get at those buffalo again, but they've gone into Torchwood. And so I think whilst we're busy traveling, there's the dam just in front of us here. Let's head on over to my buddy Tristan, who's bumbling around just north and west, I believe.
I am indeed, Noelle. I'm busy bumbling around trying to find all kinds of different things, but so far not very much luck at all. Now, if you've just joined us this afternoon, my name is Tristan. On camera today I've got VM, and well, we are trying to look for any signs of any leopards this afternoon, but so far we found a track that was from early this morning that Scott told me about, and it's for it looks like quite a smallish female, so don't know who that could be, but we followed those, and then the elephants have absolutely them because of the marulas that are around quarantine. Just so many elephant tracks there that makes it very difficult to follow any sign of a leopard. So we're just doing kind of loops around in the hope that we pick up something a little fresher than what we were looking at there, and then the hopes that maybe a leopard is drinking somewhere or is starting to get up and move. It's that time of the day now where it's getting a little bit cooler. Cloud cover, there is quite a strong breeze at the moment, and that means that we might have a situation where animals are going to be up and moving a little earlier today than maybe some of the other days that we've had in the last few weeks that have been a bit more warm and a bit more heated. And so that's the idea anyway. Whether we get it right is anyone's guess. At the end of the day, it's all up to the animals and a bit as well to give us some sort of indication of where we should be. But I'm driving slowly because there's a lot of places where the roads are quite hard, it's quite difficult to see what's going on, and so it's good just to take it nice and slow and just try and have a little look around and see what's going on, checking the roads for tracks, looking obviously at any signs around us, and then just stopping at all little water points as we're going. At the end of the day, there is a lot of water in these kind of muddy wallows like the one in front of me here, but it's not that much that the animals can kind of just go wherever they want. There's only a few of these that actually are holding water at the moment, and so, you know, if you check each one of these little mud wallows, maybe you can pick up a sign of an animal that's come to drink at some point. Seanak, I have no idea, I'm afraid. I updated on any lions. I wasn't out on drive this morning, and so I have no idea what happened with the lions, where the lions were, if any lions were seen. I don't know if I didn't, well, like I said, nobody told me about any lions, so I'm not sure. But the last I heard is that the Angama Pride was in the west. They were actually quite to side, but I think they came back towards Simambili, and I'm not sure about the sticks. They were also somewhere around Mala yesterday, I think. So don't really know about any lions, don't have any updates, but maybe Noelle will know. She was out and about this morning, so she might have a better idea as whether there are any updates or when there is any sort of signs of the lions. And like I say, I have no idea which lions you're referring to, but maybe Noelle knows, so let's send you across to her so she can maybe tell us what was going on this morning.
Alright everyone, we've got our nice little pod or raft of hippos busy having a little bit of a tussle here at Chitwa Dam. Sinak, I believe about if there was any updates with the lions. The other vehicle that I was with this morning with the wild dogs that heard some lions, I don't believe that she managed to find anything on them. I actually haven't had a proper lion update in a couple of days. I have a feeling that they're west and south of us, west respectively for Nkuhumas and possibly south for the Sticks, but I haven't had a good enough update, unfortunately. It is very, very windy at Chitwa Dam, so please excuse any wind that might be coming through the audio here. Now we're going to check out Chitwa Dam. Oh, look how cool on the drone. Just above these hippos. I actually very much, look. Very cool. I enjoy this drone view because we always see things from the same angle. So the same angle would be obviously what you can see now, and then sort of moving about. And the light's really beautiful right now from the... But for me, that drone angle is just something special. Now, what you can see nicely from the drone feed, or shot I should say rather, is the actual ripples in the water that are created by the movement. Can you see them there? So you've got your normal ripples coming from the wind, and then obviously where the hippos are popping up and going down, you have that angle completely different. We talked about some time ago healthy dam systems, healthy freshwater systems. Our dam right here is in the middle version of a dam's life cycle, which is very healthy. And one of the ways that you can tell that is actually this brownish murky color of the water. There we go. There they're popping up. One by one by one. Bobby's husband to know how many water holes are man-made here. Now, Bobby, most of the water holes we see are naturally occurring water holes that we have then done a small bit of work on so that we are able to drive across them and or retain a little bit more water. So some of them are half-half and some of them are completely natural. I've only worked on property that had completely man-made water holes. There we can see Chitwa Lodge in the background and Chitwa Dam. We actually have some really beautiful birds. For here at our about 1 o'clock to the side of the dam wall, just floating about here, maybe about 6 meters from the vehicle. There we go. We have some little bee eaters that are flying about. Now, Nikki, I know that you're in FC with Bex at the moment, and these are your favorite. I also enjoy them. They're just pretty in color. So bee eaters have that nice little long beak with a tiny little bit of a curve at the end to help catch things like butterflies, daytime moths, bees, wasps, dragonflies, damselflies, and then, of course, eat them. And it's cooled down quite a bit in temperature. There we go. Lauren, good question. Lauren from Illinois, you want to know if hippos eat marulas. I have personally not seen hippos eat marulas, but I've seen hippos eating sausage tree fruits. It wouldn't surprise me if when they're out and about and grazing at night that they do partake in those fruits. Would not surprise me at all. Now, on our left-hand side of the bank just here, we have a gathering of some comb ducks along with Egyptian geese. So the Egyptian geese are the brownish ones with the pink legs. The male comb duck is that one that's sort of white on the breast, and he's got that big old knob on his bill. He's also known as a knob-billed duck. One of my favorite duck species. Haven't seen as many this year, possibly because we haven't had as much rain. And they don't normally stick around all the time. You tend to see them more in the summer months, the wetter months. Although that's not to say that they can't be around. I have seen them in winter months in various different areas. We also have a few waterbuck that are coming down to drink. I'm just letting Ferg land the drone. I'm thinking maybe it needs more batteries, which would be my guess, or possibly it's just too windy. Sina, good question. Those little bee eaters that we saw earlier, you're wondering if they're resident at the dam. As Sinak, those little bee eaters are resident all year round and are at this dam in particular often, but you do see them in other places. So there we have our playful hippos, and then just at our 9 o'clock we have a wonderful little herd of waterbuck. Now, we were asking about some updates earlier, and I said I didn't have anything for the lions. The wild dogs have gone over to vessels, and Hasana was seen not far from sitting the last place this morning, and we looked around him for him a little bit. I'm actually just waiting for it to cool down, and I'm suspecting that he'll pop his head up. Now that we've landed the drone, I'm actually wondering if he's going to come over the hill like he likes to do and check out our equipment, although he's not allowed to do to the drone what he did to Ronald. So I'm keeping a nice little eye over there. Ooh, Tristan has some marks in the sand that sound quite interesting, so I think let's head on over to him.
I do indeed. Well, we're just having a little look at the sun starting to come down and starting to kind of get into that position where it's leopard time, so it's a good sign. Tracks for a leopard here. It's difficult to tell how fresh they are. There was apparently a bit of dusting of rain this morning, so there you can see a male leopard that's gone up the bank on the Mulawati. I know Scott drove the Mulawati, and he said to me he didn't have any tracks for a male leopard, and they head in that direction up that way. Now, Hosanna was found not too far from Chitwa driveway, and so theoretically, straight line, and this leopard walked all the way from where we are now. It could head in that direction. But I think there's more likely to be Hukamuri, and the reason why I say that is because where he had his kill a few days ago is straight in line with where we are, basically, and there is water just on the top here, which is not too far from where his kill was, so he might have drifted here, drank water, and then gone through and tracked across here. So I want to go just quickly check. Come out. They should theoretically come out on Mamba, not too far away from us, and then down towards a little thing. If we see them going past this and towards sort of Cheetah Cut line, then we know that this is tracks for Hosanna, but I'd be very surprised because how Hosanna got to this point without anyone noticing and then going all the way south would be very interesting. But let's try and see what we can do with them. At least it's some sort of sign. They're on top of the elephant track. There's a little sort of stiffness to the track on the edges, which would have been maybe from that rain this morning. I believe VM tells me there was a bit of drizzle this morning, and so it might have been from that. They're not quite fresh. They're not right now or during this afternoon, but there's still tracks that are worth just checking as to where they any tracks we've found so far that indicate that there has been some spotty cat movement in the Mulawati. Now I just want to quickly check something here. No, that's a very, very old lion track. We're not going to worry about that. That is ancient. Right, now I'm going to try and just get out of the Mulawati as well. I do apologize if you get any up in our picture. I know it's been a bit bad from the Djuma side this afternoon, but I just want to get out of the Mulawati because otherwise in the next section you certainly will experience picture breakup if you haven't already, because the picture breakup gets quite bad in this next section. So we're just going to quickly pop out here and then carry on. Now, the track that was coming along will come out theoretically in this position right over... Where's that pathway now? I know there's a pathway that comes out here. I'm just got to try and find it again. Theoretically should come out here. So there's a path that comes out. There it is. So this is the path that I was looking for. You can see it runs just on the left-hand side. So that path there, that leads all the way along to where the tracks were coming. And he might have taken two forks here. There's either the fork that comes towards me, or there's a fork that goes out and then it goes down this little link road. So there you can see where it's forking. VM is showing you ever so nicely. So I think more than likely, given the direction, it's going to be that fork road. So James, you're wondering if Hosanna and Hukamuri's tracks are roughly the same size. So James, difficult to say. I mean, it's, you know, you see them apart from time to time and you kind of see the tracks here and there. roughly the same, but I would like to actually see Hukamuri's tracks and then Hosana's tracks walk in a similar place just to double check. But from what I can pick up and from the tracks that I've seen of Hosana recently and the tracks that I've seen of Hukamuri, they look very similar. Hukamuri doesn't have the biggest feet, and I would actually surmise that probably Hosana might even be a little bigger in the foot department. And we know Tumba is probably Ghana, definitely. So I'd be interested just to see the difference between the two of them right next to one another, but from just kind of seeing in different places, they look very similar to me. Now, I don't see a track crossing over onto this road, but this is where I suspect he would have walked. I do see that somebody's driven here today, so maybe somebody saw these tracks this morning. I'm not sure. Tracked any leopard tracks here? I don't know. Wait, what's that? There it is. Actually, the leopard track is here. So let's just keep going with it. It looks like it's come down this road. There's also a whole bunch of hyena tracks also on here, so we're going to try and just kind of weed out between them. But there's definitely a vehicle drove here today, and the leopard tracks are not on top of that vehicle. So is for Hosana? I don't know. Tough to say. Worth checking though. Right, well, I'm going to keep on these tracks and just have a double check what's going on and see where they go. And while I do that, I'm going to send you off to Noel, who's some beautiful big animals mobile down towards the Chitwa Dam.
I do indeed. Thanks, Tristan, and good luck with your leopard tracks. Our waterbuck have moved off a little bit, and we've changed the battery in the drone, and now we have a lovely small little breeding herd of elephants down for a drink and hopefully a swim, which will be absolutely amazing. I know how much all of you love swimming elephants, and I also really, really love swimming elephants. They've entered into the dam at a different point than they usually do. I actually would like them to, they're not far from the island. I wouldn't mind them coming onto the island itself. That would be something new to watch. Shot looks with this.
This program.
We haven't really missed much. They're still enjoying the water, swimming around, playing around. They made it just to the edge of the island, have decided for the moment not to climb on. I think they're just having too much of a good time swimming around. And again, the hippos are amazing from the drone. Look at that! And the elephant's just as amazing. So now it's really windy. It's very hard to hear today. So they're not really aware that the drone is near them. Some of the elephants are okay with it, some not so much. These elephants are blissfully unaware of anything that's happening. And you see how they're splitting into two little separate groups at the moment. So this will still be one small breeding herd altogether. But then you'll have one female with her young in the water and another female with her young on top of the bank with another female and her young on top of the bank. They've got some different scenarios in there, but it looks like they're all going to come back in. Now, we can see how dark they have gotten after they've gotten inside the water. I often get questions about why are elephants different colors. Well, elephants are the same color. It just depends on what soil they're bathing in, dust bathing in, or what color mud they throw on themselves, and then if they're wet or not. This is actually making me want to take a swim. Gemma, you're curious how deep the water is. Now, Gemma, where they're standing, that would probably be up to my neck, possibly over my head, from what I can see from where the little ones are and the big one. We also have the big croc is coming through the water just here at our 12 o'clock. We're going to get a nice view. Here we go. Just moving through the water there, not too far from our elephants, obviously attracted by the elephants splashing. And I believe that the elephants are becoming aware of this crocodile. Let's see if we can see the crocodile together with the elephants in this shot. We should be able. too. It's just coming up to the edge of the island there. Just having a look for everybody. Should just be sort of in the water that's on your bottom left-hand side of your screen. But it's possible with the wind that is rippling the water around. I think it's unfortunately not able to see. And then Bex is thinking of the tree. I think it might pop up eventually if we're patient, or maybe not. It was a good try though. And our elephants have cooled down enough that they're going to start moving off and feeding once again. Here they are. Now we've got our waterbuck back as well. They've just done a small little loop. Now sometimes when young elephants see antelope species like the waterbuck, they tend to chase them away from the water. I've seen them do it with impala and warthog, waterbuck, yala. But I think because they've already had their drink, that they're not going to be so grumpy. First Lady, you want to know if crocodile hunt elephant? First Lady, I've seen crocodiles hunting elephant. I've seen them grab the trunks of large elephants and try and bite them off, and I've also seen them grab small elephants and try and drown them under the both occasions that I saw that the elephants got away, the fish eagle is busy flying and the geese are going completely nuts. It's going down, it's going down. Is it going to get something? Ooh, ooh. Almost. Thanks, Ferg. Quick reaction, Ferg, of course. Oh, got something there. It tried to come in low over the water and get some of the plovers as well as some of those geese, but it looks like it didn't quite work. There's one of our resident fish eagles. That was nice, some nice action for everybody. Maybe he's pretending to be the drone. Beautiful. That was it. Usually you see fish eagles just sort of sitting in the tree and not really doing much. It's rare to catch them fishing. So that was very good. Our elephants have now chased some of the waterbuck around and have started to move off towards the marula trees. Now, while we go in search of something else, hopefully Hassana, possibly not, we'll have to wait and see. I think let's head on over to Tristan, who's also tracking some leopard, and see if he has had any luck.
No, I haven't had any luck at all, Noel. I don't know where these go to. Very difficult because the buffalo have churned everything up and hardened everything, so it's quite difficult to actually see what's going on. Tess, you're wondering if lion tracks last longer than leopards because they are heavier. In some instances, yes, Tess, that is true. Depends on the substrate though. Sorry, very harshly there, but there's a track here that I just saw on the road that I want to just double check quickly and see what it is. What is that? Is that a hyena track? Looks leopardy to me. But I just want to double check. It's difficult because it's quite soft here, but it might just be a really big female hyena that's kind of walking along. So you can see there they are, yes, they are big female hyena. Quite angular, so you can see how they kind of go outwards a little bit. But back to our sort of tracking that we were talking about. So it depends on substrate more than anything else. If you find a leopard standing in a very sort of clay-like mud and it pushes down, that track will last for a very long time until the water fills up and sort of disturbs it. Lions, yes, I suppose they do leave deeper pug marks in sandy places like the Mulawati, and it takes a while longer for those sort of wear down, but not really. I mean, at the end of the day, a male leopard walking in exactly the same sort of soft sand will also leave a big pug mark that will stay there for quite some time. So I suppose they do leave a deeper print, and that maybe takes a day longer to disappear than maybe a leopard track, but it's not much. At the end of the day, it's really kind of, it depends on what the substrate they're walking on. If underneath, then it disappears quite quickly. If there's a lot of wind, or a place where it can get a lot of wind, if there's water that flows there, those are all kind of things that will disrupt those tracks quite quickly. So that's more kind of what we look for. Right, so I was getting excited. I thought maybe these were our tracks for our leopard because those were all on top of all the vehicles. It just goes to show though that no one this morning, because hyena tracks, well, this many hyena tracks all over the road are on top of all tire tracks, and so definitely means that no one has driven here today. So take care. You're wondering if we have an approximate age for hook. Well, take care. We've discussed it quite a bit, and I mean, it's difficult to say. We're just surmising and going on kind of size and nicks in the ears and scarring on the face and just general kind of things. It's obviously size is also dependent on genetics, but we think around 5 to 6 or 5 to 7, let's call it, somewhere in that general sort of. That's what I would imagine him to be from my personal experience. I might be completely wrong, but I don't think I'm too far off. Like I say, 5 to 7 would be my kind of guess, but I would be more on the side of younger than older, so I would try and go more for sort of. That's where I would sort of imagine. Right, now I just want to see here, there's another track that looks very leopard-like. Where was it now? There we go, there it is. So it's just here on my right hand side, and there it's coming along the edge there. So there's one there, and those look far more leopardy than the others. No, those are not tire tracks, Rebecca. That is certainly a pug mark that is coming through. Now, whether it's hyena or leopard, I'm just trying to see. It looks more leopardy just from the sort of width of it, particularly the front one. So if you come a little bit further forward, Viam, there's another one at a bit of a steeper angle. I don't know if this one here. So that one is a lot more leopardy. You can see it's got that wide kind of base and almost looks like 3 lobes, and the toes are much more spread out there and not banana shaped at all. So that's, I think, what we're looking for. Now, those head in a easterly direction, so I think maybe, just maybe, these could be Hosanna's tracks, and this is where he walked last night before heading towards the cut. I think that's what it is. We'll certainly try and find out if it is. I'm going to just do a loop around and just see where these go. So I need to turn around and head back in the direction I've just come. So let's have a look. I just want to double check and make 100% sure they are Hosannas before I do anything else. There's a couple of other animals that have walked on top of these tracks during the day today, so I mean, it's all sort of pointing in the direction that these are Hosanna's tracks, and he did walk here last night and then was found by Viam and Noel this morning close to this area. We're not actually that far as the crow flies. For a leopard, this is a 10-minute walk to where they found him, so it could very well be him. But it begs the question as to how he got here and why we didn't pick him up coming into the property, unless he just walked up from and around very quickly. So, Joel, this is a question that has been asked before, and there are some studies on it, and I don't really kind of know if we've gotten anywhere with it just yet, but you're wondering, is there any benefit for a leopard smelling like buttered popcorn? Yeah, I mean, I don't know the answer to it, to be honest. Like I said, there is studies on it. I read an article the other day where people were busy, well, trying to study it, but I don't really know for sure. It doesn't seem as though it would have any different effects if you think that there's other animals out here that also have to scent mark, and their, you know, sort of urine or their defecation doesn't smell like buttered popcorn, and you're able to kind of deal with things. Now, so, I mean, Franklins have just exploded out from our right-hand side here. The Impalas are all looking in this direction. Let's just check. Can you see where those Franklins went, Viam? Franklin in front, it just dropped down. I wonder if maybe they're just chasing each other. Sounds like further down, Viam. Let's quickly go check further down and see what's going on. I can hear some more Franklin still sort of chirping. There's a little 2-track that runs down here that we were on, so I just want to quickly go back that way. That goes towards a very steep drainage line, and you never know, maybe Tundi and the little one are somewhere in this area. Ooh, it's quite a long way from where we are. Let's just go and check though. Problem is, francolins don't really alarm call for very long at all. But back to our sort of urine debate. Like I say, it's a difficult one because at the end of the day, lions scent mark, but their urine doesn't smell like buttered popcorn, and so they still get around just fine and keep a territory just fine. So I don't know if the smell has anything to do with it. I'm sure why you would have a different smelling urine. I suppose each animal's got to have a different smelling urine so that they're not all the same and they actually can work out who's who. But whether or not the buttered popcorn makes it last longer, makes it more sort of smellable, if you want to call it that, I don't know. It's an interesting debate, that's for sure. Right, now those francolins I think were alarm calling from somewhere in this general vicinity. Let's just turn off here. I've got to listen carefully. It doesn't sound like anything. Seems as though everybody's gone a bit quiet now. Quite difficult to hear today actually because there's a bit of a wind blowing, so there's a bit of rustling going on, which makes it quite tough to actually hear what's going on. Now I'm going to sit here and listen a little longer, see if maybe I can get another indication of what was going on here. And I'll send you off to Noah, who I believe is also in an area that's quite quiet, like where we are.
It's busy.
Or not, because it seems as though Noel's got gremlins, so not too quiet after all. We're still sitting in exactly the same place, listening, so he sent you off and you just came straight back again. But no more sounds that I can hear, so it doesn't sound like anything. There is a little mud wallow up in front here. Let's just sort of meander towards the mud wallow, see if anything's happening there. Did you hear something behind us, Will? No, there's some redback shrikes calling behind us, so they're not anything to worry about. They're quite chirpy at the moment. There's a nice crested francolin, and does not look perturbed with life at all. In fact, it looks as though it's fairly relaxed about what's going on. So we don't want to worry too much about that fella. Leave it to carry on going in towards the thickets and towards the sort of drainage. Now, let's carry on, VM, and see what else we can find. Maybe it was that they were having a little territorial standoff, and that's why there was a bit of movement, or the impalas maybe were pushing each other around and came bounding through the flock, and that caused them all to kind of explode up and then come back down onto the ground again. Normally if it's something like a leopard, you'll find they'll complain for as long as they can see that leopard, and so that leopard wouldn't have disappeared as quick as it took us to get round. So I don't think it's anything to worry about right now, but I just want to double check, triple check, make 100% sure, and then from here what I think I'm going to do is just go around Twin Dam side and then come on to Leadwood, which is on the southern side of where I am, and see if maybe there isn't any sign on that side of something causing a little bit of... Those trucks, we lose them quite quickly, so when we sort of were driving along I was looking out for them, but they seem to have cut into this block and gone across, which means that they could very well be Hosanna's footprints. Now the pan that I was talking about is not far from where we are right now. In fact, it's just up in front here. It's a beautiful little spot actually. It's a spot that Herbie showed me when I was here, and I've always enjoyed coming past here. This road actually never used to exist until winter of this year, when they were doing some clearing of invasive vegetation, and this road then kind of got put in. But it used to be just a walk that took us into here. It was really very pretty to come this way. So Ginger, I'm 100% sure can smell where a leopard scent mark. Whether or not it cares is the next kind of sort of debate, but it most certainly will have known that a leopard scent mark there. I mean, their sense of smell is incredible, and if they can smell where another lion scent mark, they most certainly will be able to smell where a leopard scent mark. What you'll sometimes find though is when leopards scent mark is you'll actually find lions, if it's fresh, will sometimes nose to the ground and try and follow it just in case there's maybe a kill nearby. But most of the time, they just ignore it. Oh, there's a very, very young Impala lamb. You're a late lamb. So we call them laat lammetjies out here, which is Afrikaans for late lamb. And this is fairly newborn. In fact, I would say that hesitate and, well, not be a bit hesitant in what I say here, but it looks as though it's a few days old. It doesn't actually look very old at all. It's still spindly and kind of try and just get you a better view because it's gone behind this little bush. It's at the pan that I was talking about, so no leopard here if there's a little tiny baby impala, unless it's being stalked, which we know is possible, especially if Tundi's around. Where did it go, Liam? Maybe Tundi came past that quickly. This is like a magic impala. Where did it go? Maybe it trotted a little bit. Can you see it, Liam? They went into the Tambuti thicket. Oh no. Not really working for us this afternoon, is it? Everything seems to be just kind of going the wrong ways and disappearing. Monique, you wondering if buttered pop ruined for me for life? No, not at all. Doesn't bother me in the slightest that it smells the same as leopard urine. It's actually sometimes when you drive past leopard urine you start to get that little pang in your tummy that you're a little hungry. Do you get that as well, Viam? Exactly, Viam was thinking the exact same thing, is that smelling leopard popcorn actually makes you hungry more than putting you on. And especially in our camp, everybody in our camp is a popcorn fiend, and so they all go after popcorn, particularly the girls in FC. They love a little popcorn, and if you want to be in their good books, then you go and you make a sort of bowl of popcorn and take it to FC during a drive, and then you're in the good books. But apparently Viam's telling me that is no good for popcorn making, so Viam, we're going to have to do something about that. We can't have a poor microwave. You know, there's many things you can deal with in life, but a bad microwave for bad popcorn is not acceptable, so we'll have to get onto that ASAP. But yes, no, it has not destroyed my taste for popcorn in the slightest. I'm quite fine with, like I say, in fact actually the urines from a leopard sometimes makes you feel like, ooh, I'm actually a bit peckish, I could eat some popcorn now. And so it does happen from time to time. I think most of us will probably feel that way. The good thing about leopard urine is that it doesn't have that urine kind of undertone to it. So even though it smells buttery and whatever, it doesn't kind of then a secondary note of urine comes through. That doesn't happen, which I think it would ruin the smell of buttered popcorn if it had that note to it, but it doesn't. It just kind of smells exactly like popcorn would smell. And so, you know, given that I've never had to drink leopard urine, I'm pretty sure that's why it doesn't really affect me. I think it's just because it's like, well, it is, you know, popcorn is what it smells like, but it doesn't taste like that, and I don't have to eat the urine, so good. Or suppose you don't eat urine, do you? You drink it. Anyway, besides the point, it hasn't ruined what's gone on for me anyway. Right. So Rebecca's laughing at me because I just got myself into a complete mess about what I was talking about. Anyway, thanks Rebecca. You're a real help this afternoon. Bex has been full of jokes. Her and Jared this afternoon have been feeding a whole bunch of jokes into our ears while we've been driving around. Some well, in fact, none of them have been particularly good. What was the one? Let's tell what Jared's jokes were. What was the first one, Viam? It was about an alligator. Oh yes, that's the second one. We'll have to get to the first one just now. But the second one was apparently, where does a Spanish king keep his armies? Now the answer to this, I'm sure some of you will know, because I'm sure I've seen this in a Christmas cracker before written there, but for those of you that don't know, I've given you some time now to think about it. The answer to all of this is up his sleeveys. Yes, I know. Exactly, that's what I said as well. So Rebecca is still giggling in my ear. She thinks it's absolutely hilarious. She loves this one. So that's the Spanish king one. Okay. Okay. Right, so now I have to tell this joke, but I'm not allowed to give you the answer. So I'm going to tell you, and then you guys have got to maybe send in what your answers are on hashtag Safari Live. But the joke is apparently, what do you call a thieving alligator? Right, so that's the joke. What do you call a thieving alligator? And while you sort of comprehend what that could be, send you off to Noelle and see what she thinks about a thieving alligator.
Alrighty, we have good news. So the update that I got earlier on the wild dog was that they were in Vessels, but it was wrong. It's the old Vessels driveway, which is still in Chitwa, where we are. So we are gonna head over there, and most of the game drives have been through. So we're hopefully gonna get there in the next few minutes and be able to do a nice little bit with them. So we're gonna slowly meander in that direction. We've had to load up the drone. We're not gonna be able to do the drone with the dogs. There's too many game viewers around. Haven't had any luck with little Hassana, but that's okay. We're gonna cross fingers, hold thumbs that by the time we get to where these wild dogs are, that they're still there, and we'll get to view them in the beautiful little golden hour of the afternoon light. Now, Bex, I didn't hear Tristan's joke. Can you send it through? I'm curious. What do you call a sneezing alligator? Oh, a thieving alligator. A thieving alligator. Tristan, are you in a cheeky mood this afternoon? I think maybe so. All right, I want to hear what those answers are. I'm super keen on that. Excellent. Guys, I just need to talk on the Game Drive radio quickly, so just stand by. You're more than welcome to stick with me while I do that. Stations, just confirm I'm on standby 1 now, or am I still on standby 2? Copy. Thank you. Behind me. Thank you. All right, so we're on standby 1 now, which means that when the next person leaves the sighting, we'll be called in. So remember, we're allowed to have 3 vehicles in a sighting, and then we do 3 vehicles on standby, and that's to minimize the impact on the wildlife as well as the amount of vehicles in one area at a time. So basically, if you're not in the sighting, or you shouldn't be anywhere near there. That's pretty much what that means. Now, because it's an area I'm not as familiar with, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of cheeky driving here. So let's head on over to Tristan for the punchline, and I'm super keen to hear what it is.
Well, Noel, I'm not super keen to hear what it is, because unfortunately for VM and I, we've had to deal with this the whole afternoon. But I believe that some of you have guessed, and there are some that are correct and some that are not correct. But we will just quickly, I want to actually just, before we go anywhere, have a little look for Tanvi here and see if her and the cub are around. But we will get into it now. So Chelsea, I think, guessed that it was a kleptodile. Was that right, Rebecca? Something like that? Kleptodile. So Chelsea, unfortunately, no, that's not the answer. Apparently, that is not what we were looking for. Well, not what I was looking for. Not what Rebecca was looking for. But there are you that got it right. So Cindy, you got it right. Well done. You said it was a crocodile. And you have no idea what is going on in my ear. Rebecca is still sitting giggling at herself. This is hilarious and very, very funny. You two are another story in Final Control this afternoon, and I'm pretty sure it's not just you as well. I'm sure there's others that are highly amused and highly entertained by this whole thing, so I'm pretty sure it's all fun and games in FC. Have you got any more, Rebecca? Because you need one to redeem yourselves. These have both been as corny as they get, so we need... No, let's stick to animal ones, Rebecca, for the show's purposes. Let's see what you've got up your sleeveys, ha ha ha, for the animal jokes. Right, now I'm just going to quickly park here and have a little scan around, see if maybe Tundi is here with little one. Doesn't look like anything there. I'm just going to roll forward. Pipe here, so I wonder if the little one's been spending time in the pipe again. Seems as like when it's naughty, it has to go to the pipe. It's like almost like when you're a kid and you get sent to the corner or the naughty chair. It's like the pipe. When mom leaves, as you've been playing around too much, off you go to the pipe. but no leopard that I can see. Nothing there. So Rebecca, I'm waiting for your animal jokes, but I haven't gotten anything from you. Stand by. Oh, okay, so we're standing by. Seems as though our witty sort of duo in FC is running out of jokes for all of us, but they are busy. I'm sure they're busy hacking frantically at their keyboards, googling all kinds of related jokes. That's what is probably taking place in FC right now. Right, so why did the leopard cross the road? Do I have to answer that, Rebecca, or didn't the leopard cross? Okay, so why did the leopard not cross the road? Do I answer, Rebecca, or is this for everybody to answer? I can try and answer. Okay, VM, do you have an answer? VM says beats him. Why didn't the leopard cross the road? No, I don't know, Rebecca. Tell me, why didn't the leopard cross the road? Okay, so Rebecca wants to leave me hanging a little longer. So I'm going to send off to Noel while you all think about it and try and help VM and myself out. I'll have a little bit more of a think. And so off you go to Noel and see how she's doing in getting these.
Copy that. Thank you so much. Sorry, guys. I'm just busy chit-chatting about where these dogs are. We're making our way. Just hold on. I've got to talk with someone again. I'm standby 1. You can take it. Copy. Thank you. So we're just busy circling around until it's our turn. But it's a nice afternoon. And then because I'm standby 1, that also means that I'm in charge of the lineup with the standbys, which is why I have to chat on the radio every now and then. You don't usually see us chatting on the radio and talking. We usually do it when we're off air, because obviously when we're on air, we're with all of you. But it is part of what we do as guides. Obviously, it's quite a minimal thing. You call in a sighting, you call yourself out of a sighting, you call yourself in standby. Very short and sweet and to the point. Every now and then there's a little bit longer discussion dealing with tracks and where are tracks moving and what is everybody up to and where are the animals moving in case they get into the sighting. And we use markers, so northeast, southwest, and we use certain trees and termite mounds, and we put branches down if we go off the road and say, you follow that branch. The broken end of the branch points to where the sighting is. And we'll see. I have a feeling that shortly these dogs are going to get up and moving. And they apparently, after we saw them this morning, they killed another small impala. So they've had 2 small impalas, but nothing big. And as we know, Chitwa has some wonderful prey species for them. So we might get a little bit of action, which will be this if that happens. So don't forget, everyone, we're live and interactive. #SafariLive on Twitter and on the YouTube chat. And we really love your questions and comments, so please send them through. And I hope you all are waiting with bated breath, as I am, for the possibility of this sighting. All right, Tristan apparently is giving you all jokes still, so let's head back to him so he can give you another punchline. Maybe ask Tristan if he knows any good Chuck Norris jokes.
I am not the one giving jokes here. Let's just get that clear, because I'm not taking responsibility for... I'm the one that's physically saying them, but I am not taking responsibility for what is being fed to me in my ear, because, yes. Okay. There we go. Oh no. So Rebecca has just fed me the punchline to the leopard joke, which was, why didn't the leopard cross the road? Now, the answer is a ridiculous one. It's because he didn't want to get spotted. This is what I have to deal with every day on drive. Now, Rebecca says it's just like our leopards today. Well, you're right, Rebecca. It is just like our leopards today. They don't want to be spotted, but hope there is time. It is last minute leopard hour, or minutes should I say, and so we're going to have a little look. Now, there's not going to be a leopard in that hole. As much as I would like there to be miniature leopards out here, there is certainly no miniature leopard inside there. I am looking for Janet Jackson and company, who was here yesterday morning, but nothing in that hole either by the looks of things. Oh no, VM, do you think Janet Jackson's gone out on the town? Looks like it. There's another hole right at the top. It was a very, very fancy building that Janet Jackson's got. She is, Rebecca. She is very foxy. So, right. I'm going to try and see if I can pull out a proverbial leopard out the hat. And while I do that, let's send you across to Noel and the sunset. If the doggies are going to pitch up at that sunset as well.
Tristan, I also help the dogs pitch up for us, but this sunset is absolutely gorgeous. So I think we'll do our daily afternoon moment of silence with these gorgeous colors and this view while we're busy waiting. Absolutely gorgeous. And that sound of the wind blowing through the trees. Excellent. I hope we enjoyed that. I know I did enjoy that. And I think let's creep a little bit closer. It is beautiful and stunning, guys. I do agree with all of you. I think that's a little bit closer to where we will hopefully have these wild dogs, as it should be just about our chance. I think everyone can stay with us as we go and do this, because we don't have a huge amount of time left. And we should be called in shortly. Still giving everyone just a little bit of a chance to move around. Now, we might get a view of the backside of Chitwa Lodge where they have the workshop, but that's okay. Every lodge needs to function and to go about their daily business. We also might pick up on someone like Tingana. For those of you, Tingana is one of our territorial male leopards, father of Hassana. Sorry, last station, are you looking for me? All right. So we should be somewhere inside of here. Unless they have possibly moved. But we're just going to have a squiz around, because we shouldn't be too far. And it should be our turn soon. I know I keep saying that. If we put it out there, it will it will happen. Was Tristan's punchline any good? That's what I'm curious to know. Okay, why didn't the leopard cross the road? No, that is brilliant. So why didn't the leopard cross the road? Because he wanted to. How excellent is that? Saber, I've been waiting to get in there. I've only got about 3 more minutes of show. If I can come in, that would be great. Thanks so much. I'm here by... Let's go over to Tristan quickly.
Well, we are just driving up towards Treehouse Dam, and I heard some alarm calls and I was getting excited, but it's because there is a bird on the branch over there, the bottom branch of that knobthorn. What are you, a Wahlberg's eagle? Yes, it looks Wahlbergy, I like. So it's got that little crest, yellow sear, dark eye, and yellow feet without the stovepipe legs. So earlier during the school drive we saw a lesser spotted eagle, and you might have been wondering what is the difference between the lesser spotted eagle, which is what we saw earlier, and this Wahlberg's eagle. Well, the Wahlberg's eagle, like I said, has the crest and has the yellow sear, it has the dark eye. A lesser spotted pale eye, so it's almost like a goldy kind of pale yellow color. And then when I say stovepipe legs, I mean that the legs are pretty much, they don't really have too many feathers on them, so there's this kind of long yellow sort of mark, well, piece to the legs, and so that's how you can ID the two of them pretty quickly and pretty easily, because size-wise they are very similar. But that's a form Wahlbergs. I wonder if this is not the dark form one from around Twin Dams. Not very far from Twin Dams to Treehouse Dam. It's just a short little flight to the west, and so maybe that's why this fella is sitting here. I say fella, but it could be a lady as well. I do apologize if you are a lady. I'm very sorry. Difficult to tell male and female apart when sitting like that, or in fact when flying, or anything else. It's really not very easy. But let's just check Treehouse Dam quickly, because we don't have too much time left, and so if we want our last minute leopard we need to check the waterhole quickly. I'm hoping that there is a leopard here. I'm doubting that there is a leopard, because it all seems very quiet, but one can hope and one can live in sort of and good vibes. Anything, VM? No. We've been foiled by our spotted cats because they didn't want to cross the road, apparently. Ha ha. Ha ha. Right, no, nothing at Treehouse. Let's carry on and see if maybe something is coming towards Treehouse from the northern side. Let's see if we go up this way and head up top. And so what we'll do is we're going to head up towards sort of Philemon's, just in case there is a little leopard action around Philemon's. There was tracks for a female there this morning, which are the same ones that I think go all the way up towards Buatella Access and Zoe's Road, but you never know, maybe that leopard has decided to come back this way and is heading back down south. That's what I'm hoping anyway. One thing I will say, the track that Scotty was telling me about. Oh, hello elephants, you've done a lot of damage. You ever wonder how strong an elephant is? There you go, that can give you an idea of just how strong an elephant is. That is a marula tree that has been absolutely smashed. The thickness of that marula tree, I would say, is probably, oh, what do you reckon, Bim? What can we, I don't know, a big, very big pipe. No idea what we can relate to size-wise, but it is very big and very, very strong for an elephant to have pushed that over, and very naughty as well. Now I'm going to try and get through here without picking up branches underneath. Were we successful, VM? Yes, we were successful. VM and I recently, where every time we drive over a branch it gets lodged in so awkwardly that it doesn't come out, and I've never in my life had an experience where I've had to actually get out and fight with a branch for 10 minutes to get them out. But in the last few weeks, VM and I have had 3 or 4 of them where it's taken both of us and a machete and a little bit of thinking to try and get rid of them. To avoid trees at the moment, we are going through a bad patch with the stumps underneath the car. Right, now unfortunately no leopard from us today, VM, I'm sorry, and hopefully tomorrow is another day and that we will find our spotty cat. And while we kind of contemplate our failure this afternoon to find them, let's send you over to Noelle so she can say goodbye from all of us.
Hi everyone, we've just been called in and I'm just trying to find where they are. We're going to see what we can do. I'm just trying to get around. I was given some very interesting directions how to get to where we should be. So come along for the ride. We'll stare at the beautiful sunset as we go along. Works at all. They should be around here somewhere. Ah, here we are, and they're up. They're not sleeping. Yay! And with the sunset in the background, absolutely fantastic. I don't think it gets much better than this. Beautiful. And as they start moving, some nice action. So wild dogs, of course, sleeping or moving are always fabulous. But for me, I much prefer when they're moving around. Gives us a chance to watch their amazing behavior. And they're going to come all the way past the vehicle, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. Here, they're coming right past our vehicle. They're going to come hopefully past my door, maybe on Ferg's side. We'll have to wait and see. There's my hat. Sorry about that. So they sometimes bed down for the night and sleep for the night, and sometimes they get moving like they're doing now. I have a feeling that because their meals that they had today were not overly large, that they will probably hunt a bit. It's not full moon. It should be a darker moon, which I've seen them hunting during both. Now, everybody, while we're sitting here with my favorite predator, actually one of my favorite wildlife animals in general, I just have a little announcement to give all of you. I will be going on sabbatical from the 16th of February for several months. I have some few things I'm going to be taking care of, so you will not see me around on Safari Live for a while, but you will be seeing Byron and Allie for a short stint, which will be absolutely fabulous. I know you all enjoy them very much, so I'm going to miss you all. But I'm going to do a few more things with my studies and a few personal commitments that I have. All right, everyone. So thank you very much for my journey thus far on Safari Live, and I'll still be on the Instagram if any of you want to keep up with what I'll be doing during my sabbatical. I've got lots of fun things planned and fun things to do. We found our dogs, which is absolutely fantastic, and we thought they were going to get moving, but it looks like they're doing what a lot of predators do after it's dark like this. They're going to get up and lie down and then get up and lie down. So we are going to stick with them for our last little bit of show, and I just want to say thank you very much from myself and Ferg and from everyone in FC, as well as Tristan and Brent and Jamie and everyone that's been involved in our show for this evening. It's absolutely. And I think our last shot should probably be on the very magical African wild dogs.